And welcome into Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. September 19th, 2019. Week's almost over. Games are upon us. We got Thursday night football tonight. It's been a long work week. Felt like a Monday. I heard at work today. And I was like, oh no, we're not doing that. It's not a Monday. It's definitely Thursday. We're definitely one day out from the weekend. From college football, from Georgia Notre Dame, from NFL football on Sunday, from NFL football on Monday, and NFL football tonight, Jacksonville, Tennessee. So on today's show, we'll review week 2 a little bit. I'll give my week 3 picks, get them out there before the Thursday night game this week. So can't nobody call me out for that. We'll talk about some of these quarterback issues. Clearly not playing these guys in the preseason did not help them stay healthy or did not help these teams achieve their goal. A lot of quarterback issues going on in the NFL right now. Some good, actually. There's a couple good situations. There is the other side of the coin. Not all is bad. There's a couple surprising or fulfilling quarterback situations out there where a couple players are really having a nice little go at the beginning of the season. This idea, whether it's good or bad, for players to be requesting trades in the NFL, and are they becoming like the NBA, and how it's going to hurt the league, and blah, 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 blah. We'll get into that a little bit. And then why I love sports number 6 at the end of the show. We'll get into that. But topic 1, review week 2 and week 3 picks. So let's get into a little bit of review. Not a lot of review. It's Thursday. We're already into week 3. We've already seen all of this stuff. But some stuff did happen. Carolina's loss to Tampa Bay on Thursday was surprising. Cam Newton does not look good. There's definitely something wrong there. You got Michael Vick talking about how he thinks this is Cam's last season in Carolina. Offense not clicking. That was a surprising, at least to me, I did not expect Carolina to lose that game. What other games stuck out in a noteworthy? Seattle coming back, the way they played the Steelers there. Mason Rudolph had a nice little game. Russell Wilson had a good game. Seahawks looking pretty good. Giants are looking really bad, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They can't stop anybody. Josh Allen out there looking like Steve Young. 49ers beat up the Bengals pretty bad. Hey, my favorite team, the Detroit Lions. We got over on the Chargers. Chargers had 2 touchdowns called back on a drive, then fumbled on the 1-yard line on the same drive. Yeah, missed extra points in this game. Missed field goals in this game. Bad special teams. Just bad. Packers looked like they were going to score 50 on the Vikings. End up at 21. Texans, Jags. Jags had a chance to tie. Tried to force overtime. They decided to do the 2-point conversion. Show the toughness. Go for the win, not to tie. It backfires. They don't get it. Lose 13-12. Patriots, if they make the margin this weekend in their game, they will set the record for the biggest point differential through the first 3 games in a season. They're already at like plus 70 something. Only giving up 3 points on the season. Patriots look amazing right now. Chiefs, they're making moves. They look good. They know the Patriots are the team that knocked them out. They know they're going to have to go through the Patriots if they want to get where they want to go. Offense looks good. I mean, LaShawn McCoy goes down. They're going to get him back later. They're going to get the little assault dude. What's his name? Tyreek Hill. He's going to come back. Travis Kelce's having a nice go of it. Patrick Mahomes is not right now showing any signs of any kind of a slump or comeback this year. To the point that Patrick Robinson had a great week last week and is on everybody's fantasy radar now. Drew Brees goes down. Rams dominate that one. Cam Jordan should have had a touchdown. Another bogus-ass call against the Saints in a Rams game. I don't know what to say about how you can get that wrong. Broncos lose after a horrible roughing the passer interference call after really just two teams that couldn't score, couldn't do anything. Gives the Bears a chance on 4th and 15. The Broncos can't keep the Bears from converting. Bears get into field goal range, kick a field goal, actually make the field goal, and win the game, beating the Broncos. And everybody's starting to hear little whispers now here in Denver about Joe Flacco this, Joe Flacco that, the offense this, what about that? And they're starting to try and pick it apart. They're trying to find the flaw. 2 games in, no sacks for Bradley Chubb and Von Miller. No wins. Where was this vaunted defense? Vic Fangio was supposed to be all over this. We're supposed to see his fingerprints. Right? Not happening. Falcons come back and beat the Eagles. Bigger surprise of the weekend. Odell goes off with his one-handed catch. He goes off with the 89-yard touchdown. Browns beat the Jets up. Jets lose another quarterback. Trevor Siemian down with the ankle injury. It was a fun week, too. I mean, with some of the surprises, Broncos also went for 2 at the same spot, basically. It was 13-12. They go for 2, and it converts. Actually, no. They go for 2. It wasn't going to work. There was a penalty, so they go for 1. Then there was another penalty, so now they can take the 2 again from the 1-yard line. So then they go for 2 from the 1, and they make that to go 14-13. Then they blow it, and they lose 16-14. So I mean, there's a lot of little fun things throughout the whole weekend. I didn't get into a lot of the games this weekend. The Chiefs' second quarter against the Raiders was great. All 28 of their points came in the second quarter. All 10 of the Raiders' points came in the first half of the first quarter. I'm just so happy football's back. I'm so happy football's back. It's great. Fun stuff this weekend. All right, week 3 picks. Here's how I got the games going. I'm taking Tennessee tonight. Jacksonville's got Minshew at quarterback. Ramsey, who knows what they're going to get from him tonight. We'll see if he comes out and plays professional in his last game, more than likely as a Jaguar. I just think Tennessee gets this one. I think Jacksonville's in disarray. I don't get it. What's going on? They've got a lot of talent. We saw what they were 2 years ago. And then they've dropped off the map since then. So I can't pick them. So I'm going Tennessee tonight. I'll take Buffalo to beat Cincinnati, but it's probably going to be a close game. Buffalo's the popular pick. I think Dallas is going to demolish Miami. Miami's just a sad situation. I'll take Green Bay over Denver. Atlanta to beat Indianapolis. I think they'll gain a little momentum from their win over Philadelphia. Indianapolis is an average team right now. Good coaching, some talent. They're going to rely on their running game. But average right now. I got Baltimore in the upset over Kansas City. I'll take defense in this one. The 2 quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson makes one more play with his legs, not his arm. Baltimore wins this one in a surprising fashion of battle of 2-0 teams. I'll take Oakland to beat Minnesota. Very unpopular pick, but Minnesota's highly inconsistent. Nice defense, good running game. Kirk Cousins isn't playing well. If you shut down Dalvin Cook and make Kirk Cousins beat you, even though he has weapons, is that going to happen right now? Can the defense continue? I'll just take Oakland in this one. Why not? John Gruden beats Minnesota. I'll take New England all day over the Jets. I'm going to take the Lions to beat Philadelphia. After watching how the Lions played the Chargers, even with some of the bad things both teams wise, I think they're going to be in a lot of their games this season. So thinking that and having them be my favorite team, I'm going to take them in this one. It could be close. I think they match up pretty well. Deshaun Jackson's out. That takes away from that offense a little bit. And that offensive line has not been really protecting Carson Wentz. So I'll take Detroit in this one. You might see it be something like 17-14. I'm going to take Carolina over Arizona. I think Christian McCaffrey gives them enough on offense. I know Carolina's going with another quarterback this week and Cam's hurt. But Arizona's not that good of a team. So I'll take Carolina to get their first win of the season in that one. I'm taking the Giants to beat Tampa Bay. Don't ask me why. I'll take Houston to beat the Chargers. Actually, no, ask me why. I think Saquon has a big game. I think Saquon matches up well against Tampa Bay's defense. I think they're going to have to rely on him with Daniel Jones being in as the starter this week. I think Daniel Jones probably gets a couple of big plays. He looked comfortable in the offense in the preseason. Pat Shurmur's a good play caller. So a couple things going their way this week. Eli handled the situation great, I think. But we'll talk more about that here with quarterback situations in a minute. I'll take Houston to beat the Chargers. I think the Chargers fall to 1-2. There's something off right now, and it's not just that Melvin Gordon's not there, but something's not clicking. They're not getting enough on the defensive side of the ball. The offense is kind of inconsistent. You're not seeing sequencing to their plays, as Joel Klatt likes to say. I'll take Seattle to beat New Orleans. Obvious reasons there. They're going to be running two quarterbacks this week. Jason Hill is a nice little weapon. He's a fun guy to have on your team with as many positions as he plays. Teddy Bridgewater, we're going to start seeing a little bit more of what he has to offer as an NFL quarterback coming back from the knee now that Breeze is out for the foreseeable future. Seattle's got everything clicking right now. New Orleans is struggling a little bit. They're still, hopefully they're over mentally and not thinking about bad calls and is it going to happen this weekend. But I'll take Seattle in this game to move on to 3-0. I'll take San Francisco to move on to 3-0, beating Pittsburgh. I don't think Mason Rudolph is going to have enough against San Francisco's defense. Maybe here in a couple, 3 weeks, you're going to start seeing him click a little more. I just don't see it for this week. That San Francisco defense is a lot better than I thought it was. They're a lot tougher up front. And the offense is starting to click. Deebo Samuel looked good last week. Jimmy Garoppolo's playing pretty well. So I expect San Francisco to move on to 3-0 as well. I'll take Chicago to beat Washington, and I'm going to take the Rams to beat the Browns in a close one this week. So those are my Week 3 picks. That's the Week 2 review. That's how I see it. Let's enjoy the games. Thursday Night Football is kicking off here in just over an hour. All right, topic 2. Let's get into the quarterback issues because a lot of those games I didn't really go into too much detail on, especially the quarterback injury ones, because that was the next topic. So, the NFL's got quarterback issues. And it's not because they played them in the preseason. It's not because they got hurt in a meaningless game. It's because they don't play football getting ready to play football. So they're having a lot more injuries in the beginning games, and now you're starting to see some serious injuries to quarterbacks in these beginning games because the offensive linemen are not ready to protect them. They go from playing patty cake to full-on, holy shit, tear your hair back, let's go. And the defenders have the upper hand at the beginning. Just like at the beginning of training camp when the defense looks better because they're able to just tear off and go and the offense isn't in sync yet. And then that quickly changes about 3 or 4 days into training camp, and the offense starts lighting up the defense. We're getting that in meaningful games now, except the defenders don't have to lay off when they get to your players. They don't have to lay off when they get to the quarterback. The quarterbacks are not used to getting hit anymore or taking 1 or 2 hits in those preseason games and building it up and feeling what it's like and getting hit in practice a little bit. I've said it many times on this show. Mark Schlereth said it the other day. You can't train for track and get ready to play football. And I'm all for cross-training. I am. There's tons of benefits to it. But the way these guys get ready to play NFL, full contact, violent football, they are not preparing themselves properly anymore. So we're seeing these quarterback issues, I think, stemming out of that umbrella of things. You've got the Giants, quarterback issues. They're turning it over to Daniel Jones, Eli out. Not from an injury, but they didn't know their season's not really going anywhere. They've got some young guys. Let's get the young quarterback in there. Let's start building this core together and see what we got. Okay, I get that. Everybody kind of knew. We've been thinking that was going to happen with Eli for the last couple years. We saw what Bob McAdoo did, ending his consecutive start streak, right? Only game he's missed in his NFL career. And he's handled it with class. He's handled it with integrity and dignity. And he's like, don't talk to me about my future. Right now, I'm the backup for the New York Giants, and I'm going to help this team prepare. So for everybody who wants to hate on him, guess what? Eli Manning will be in the Hall of Fame. He is a good guy. He is a good quarterback. Just because he was not what you wanted him to be does not take away from what he is. And that's a class act. With a famous last name, yes. Who's won 2 Super Bowls. Who holds passing records for one of the oldest franchises in the NFL. He will be in the Hall of Fame. He's not a first ballot guy, but he is a Hall of Famer. And I'm super impressed with the way it's going down, considering they decided to do it so early in the season, not waiting for a bye week, even knowing the direction their season looks to be going early on. It is a little surprising, week 3, they're making that change. Carolina Panthers. We've been hearing the talk about Cam Newton. Might be injured, might be this, might be that, might be out of town next year. Turns out this Allen kid's going to get his shot. Not their rookie Will Greer, but this Allen kid, he's going to play this weekend. Cam's got the foot issue, I believe. Ankle issue. And he's going to be out. So we'll see how they change the offense up. We'll see if they make it a little more straightforward, a little more blasé. And Cam Newton, you look at Cam Newton, you look at Andy Dalton, their stats are almost identical. But Cam's got the MVP. Cam's been to the Super Bowl. Cam gets to wear the outfits. Cam gets the attention. But he's really basically the same player as Andy Dalton. And I've talked about it on this show before. Cam's weakest part of his game is the short, accurate passing game. If you want to send it deep, he can get you deep. He can run. He can take off. He can make those off-schedule things happen. But standing in the pocket, hitting those accurate short throws, those throws to the sideline, is not his game. It's never going to be. They needed to continue developing the offense that made him good early in his career, and they didn't. And he is fighting back against all of the talk that was out there about him not being a good quarterback. And they changed it up too much. It was almost the opposite. What they've done with Cam is what they're doing in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. Is he better from the pocket and behind the line of scrimmage this year? Sure, he worked on it. Cam's worked on it too. But they're letting it be what Lamar does best is what their offense is. They're not saying, let's make it Tom Brady style and you need to be poised. And no. You got to let Cam be Cam if that team's going to be successful with him. Saints, Drew Brees goes down with a thumb injury after hitting his hand on Aaron Donald. And they're going with Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill. There's going to be a drop-off there. They're going to struggle a little bit. We'll see if they're still in it. Are they going to win some games? Yeah, I think they're still going to win some games. I think Sean Payton's going to have a dynamic enough of an offense, and he's good enough of a play caller. And they have Kamara. They have Murray. They have Michael Thomas. They have Ted Ginn. They've got weapons still. They just don't have the distributor the same way. So it's going to come down to game plan, and I think Sean Payton's going to do well there. They'll still struggle. Steelers lose Big Ben. No Eli this week. No Big Ben. No Drew Brees. This will be the first time since all 3 of those quarterbacks were in the NFL that the 3 of them are not starting in the same weekend. Since like 2004 or something. Now, Phillip Rivers, you throw him into the group, okay, he's still starting this weekend. But first time since like 2004 that those three quarterbacks aren't all playing on the same weekend. Mason Rudolph takes over. I liked Mason Rudolph coming out of college. I thought he was going to develop a little better coming into the pro game. We haven't seen a lot of him, but now he gets his chance. Josh Dobbs was traded to, Jacksonville just last week. So it's Rudolph's time. They also drafted his go-to guy from Oklahoma State and Washington, so hopefully he can get something there. Decent running game. Maybe the defense starts coming alive. Maybe the loss of Big Ben kind of solidifies this team, and they're like, we're more than just Ben. We can do it without him. We'll have to see, but another quarterback issue. A quarterback issue with a guy who recently has been talking about he doesn't know if he's going to come back to play. Now, I know he put out the statement, and he said he's going to honor his contract. They just gave him 3 more years, and he plans to play. A lot's going to happen between now and then. We've seen it over and over and over where guys say things, and that's not what ends up happening. This is the type of thing, arm injury, throwing arm, elbow. Let's say he comes back. Is he going to be the same? Is it going to be the same Big Ben? Can he get it as far? Does he have as much power on his throws? Or is something going to change about that elbow? We won't know. The Jets, they can't keep a quarterback. They got a quarterback with mono. They got a quarterback who looked like his foot was going to fall off against Cleveland. Trevor Siemian is out for the year. You got Luke Falk starting for the Jets. So they're on their 3rd quarterback. Darnold's going to be back soon enough. As soon as the mono kicks it, as soon as he puts a little bit more weight on, gets his, is feeling good and his little bit of endurance back. Week 4, week 5 probably. I think they got an early bye week. Jacksonville's got all kinds of problems. They're down to Gardner Minshew. Nick Foles didn't work out. He gets hurt, clavicle out. Another injury. Didn't prevent, not playing in the preseason. Colts got quarterback issues. They're Brissett, Hoyer. They release Kelly, who everybody expects them to sign him back on the practice squad. But Andrew Luck, they're trying to figure it out. And Brissett, I'm sorry, he's a bottom 3rd quarterback in the NFL as a starter. He's a top-tier backup. Miami Dolphins got issues. Fitzpatrick's down. Rosen's going to start this week. We don't know. I mean, Miami's got issues everywhere. Xavier Howard and Kenyon Drake are like the last good players they got left. And there's been talk that Drake might be getting traded. Xavier Howard, he's like, I do want to win now. We've got a lot of draft picks, though. I can see that the future could be bright, but I'm about, winning, and he could be a next player who's going to ask for a trade. The Dolphins they've got turmoil everywhere. And you look at these teams, you look at some of the names that are stepping in to be quarterbacks for these teams. Daniel Jones and Ryan Kelly and Jason Hill and Mason Rudolph and Luke Falk and Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett, and you're going to tell me Colin Kaepernick still doesn't deserve a look? Can't come in? I had a debate with a guy this week who was like, well, Colin had a chance to work out for the Seattle Seahawks, and he turned it down. He said, you got the tape. Colin wants too much money. Well, it's been proven wrong that Colin doesn't have salary demands, that he didn't put any salary demands out there. He's now this week put out a statement that said he's even willing to be a backup. We've seen the workout videos, and he did tell Seattle, you've got the tape. Because Seattle told him, we're not going to sign you. We want to bring you in for a workout to see if you're healthy and what you got going on. Well, if you're not going to give me a chance, and you just want me to work out, go ahead. You've got the tape. I've got workout tape. You can look at it. So I don't have a problem with that either. But you're talking about some of these teams, and you're going to say he doesn't deserve a chance? Because of what? No, he wasn't a top third quarterback ever. He was never going to be. He was a middle third. He was a second third quarterback. Maybe bottom third at the top of that. Right system, right play calling. We've seen him be successful. We've seen him be dynamic. We've seen him do what Lamar Jackson got credit for this week, passing for 200 and whatever yards and running for over 100 yards, but he did it in a playoff game. We've seen that. We know he can do it. So the idea he hasn't even gotten a workout yet from a team, say like the Carolina Panthers, where Eric Reed is, and they were willing to give him a shot, or the Pittsburgh Steelers with the Rooney family, Jacksonville. I mean, Tom Coughlin, that would be a stretch for him, but or the Dolphins for that matter. The Jets, who are starting Luke Falk. Now, I don't think Colin ever is going to get a chance again. I think he's fine doing what he's doing, and that's going to be the calling in his life, and that probably was going to be his true calling. But the idea he can't get a workout, he's not being brought in still, with the lawsuit settled and all of that, it's a little ridiculous at this point, and the story needs to go away. It can't be this. We're going to talk about this every year, every time there's an injury, every time this and that, until what? He's too old to play, till he's 45, 50, 60 years old. We'll stop talking about him maybe getting a chance. It's just time for it to be done. Either a team needs to step up and just bring him in and let the workout and all parts of it be completely transparent so we can put it to rest. One way or another, they sign him or say, hey, look, it wasn't good enough, and here's the evidence. Or we all just need to move on. Because he is doing good things, and we don't talk about that. On the other side, the NFL's got some good stuff going on early with quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson's looking great. His offseason, the weight that he's put on, the more muscular build he has. He looks comfortable now behind the line of scrimmage with the play calling they have and some of the weapons. The young rookie wide receiver, the ability that they're giving him to throw the ball downfield where he's deadly, just like he was at Louisville doing that kind of stuff, working towards his strengths. Is paying off for them early. Now they got a big test this week in Kansas City. Him against Patty Mahomes, two young quarterbacks. It's going to be fun. It could be real dynamic, especially both defenses are pretty good. Baltimore's defense is better than I thought it was going to be. I thought they'd be okay, but they lost a lot of pieces, so they dropped back. But they're playing well. They're playing aggressive. They're playing fast. They're playing excited from that offense. And then there's Dak Prescott. He's now in the first two games of this season looking like the quarterback people have been claiming he was the last couple years. And we never saw it. He wasn't putting it on display, even with Ezekiel Elliott, even with the offensive line. Yeah, there was a lot of team wins that he gets credit for, quarterback wins, which were really Dallas Cowboy wins. And he had a couple games here and there that were really good. But it was like, okay, he's not a great quarterback. He shouldn't be resetting the market with his next contract. Well, give him all the right pieces. Give him the right system. Give him the right play caller. Give him a full set of weapons, because now he's got 3 receivers and not maybe 1. He's got Cooper. He's got Gallup, who's injured right now. And now you add in, what's his name, who came down from Green Bay. I can't remember his name. The slot guy who came down from Green Bay. He's got a full set there. Jason Witten comes back. He adds leadership, balance, confidence to that offense. They know he's going to get open for that first down. They know he's going to box out and play perfect red zone. They know he can block. They know he can chip. They know he's going to be solid. That adds confidence and leadership to that team. Takes a little bit off of Dak, even though Jason's like, oh, I don't want to come in. I missed a year. I'm not the leader. Bullshit. Yes, you are. That's how you're looked at. You're looked as an all-time great. not as just another guy who joined the team this year. They've got a defense that's flying around and playing well. So everything's working good in Dallas right now, and Dak's looking great because of it. Now, any quarterback would look great because of those factors. But there are quarterbacks like a John Elway who would look great without all those factors. There's quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers who look great without all those factors. Tom Brady has looked good without all of those factors. He's led teams with his arm, his mind. We haven't seen that from Dak, and we're not going to see that this year because Dallas is stacked. They're young, they're talented, and they're playing with fire right now. But it's impressive. Quarterback issues in the NFL, good and bad. Now, is it good or bad for the NFL that players, young players, talented players, Pro Bowl players are starting to request these trades? We've seen it with Antonio Brown now. He wanted out of Pittsburgh. He wanted out of Oakland. Now, Antonio Brown's got all kinds of issues going on right now. He's losing sponsorships. Court cases are going away because of statute of limitations, so we're not going to find out if he's guilty or not. We're not going to pursue it because we can't. He's got other people coming out. There's the farting thing, which is ridiculous. All the stuff from this summer. So we'll see what goes on with that situation, but he's done it. The Miami Dolphins team did it. Melvin Gordon, in a roundabout way, is like, pay me or trade me. Jalen Ramsey is another one who's out there right now. And he's going to be traded this weekend. Kansas City, Philly, Seattle, San Francisco, maybe a surprise team, Dallas, somebody who hasn't been talked about. Taco Charlton asked, if you're not going to play me, release me, trade me. Dallas tried to get a trade. They couldn't. They released him. He's in Miami. Miami gets him, picks him up off waivers. So is it good or bad for the league? Well, to me, because I support the players, especially from the business side, getting everything they can and deserving more than they get, from the business side, not from the global perspective or societal perspective of professional athletes being overpaid, but the business of the NFL. Whether you like it or not, it exists. It's a real thing. And it's not right for the players to be taken advantage of or not get theirs because we don't like how much they get paid. So from the business side of it, I think it's great for the players to get a little bit of that power back, to say, you know what, this situation's not right for me. Now, I don't see that in Jalen Ramsey's case. He's coming across a little bit like a me player. We're not winning. I'm not having fun. I want to win. Get me out of this situation. Now, we don't know everything about the situation either. Very clearly, there's a lot we don't know. We know he requested the trade. We knew he blew up at the coach this weekend on the sideline. So we all make references and decisions and decide what that means. But there could be a whole lot going on. There's something wrong with that team to go from how dominant they were 2 seasons ago, making it to the AFC Championship game, to falling off a cliff. Culturally, with the coaches and the players, something in that mix is not right. And I think that's a bigger part of it than the way it's being portrayed out there right now, that it's just, I want to win, get me on a better team. Wham, wham, wham. But that is exactly how he's being portrayed. Now, are the owners going to like it? Are coaches going to like it? Is it going to mess with teams? Is the idea of loyalty gone? Sure, all of that stuff is going to take a hit in some way. When you make a plan to have a guy like Jalen Ramsey or Antonio Brown or Melvin Gordon on your roster and they demand a trade and don't show up or play less than they can or become a distraction, or the questions become a distraction, it becomes an issue. You're scrambling. Can we fill him somehow? Who's available? What trades can we make? How can we revamp our entire plan for what this season was going to be based on losing this quality of a guy? It hurts, sure. Fans are going to get pissed. We're going to see them do stupid stuff and burn more product that they've already spent their money on. On the opposite side, it gives them somebody to cheer against. It makes them louder when they come back to your stadium. It makes them buy more stuff to make dummies and voodoo dolls and all that kind of nonsense. So good or bad for the league, it's neither. It just is. With the way the league is, with the money that's involved, with the business, players are going to start more and more looking out for themselves. It's not the old days. We don't see very many guys that all play their whole career with a team. Careers are shorter. Guys are involved in a lot more off the field now. They have their eye on a lot more than just football by the time they get to that level. So I like it. I think it's interesting. I think it mixes up a little bit. It's better than all the rule changes just to appease. So if you go to litigation, you can say, oh, no, look, we tried. Some of the rule changes are there to make the game better. Most of them are just rule changes to save their own butts if something happens. To say, we are doing this. I heard Joe Klatt talking about that this week, actually, and was like, you know what, that's a really good point. So I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's just time for it. I think it's the same kind of thing you're seeing in the NBA with players making super teams. I saw somebody said this week, Kobe Bryant's never been on a super team. Every team he was on was a super team. His Lakers teams were loaded. The Lakers team that brought in Gary Payton and Karl Malone was a super team. They were super old, but they were super team. Andrew Bynum, Paul Gasol, Kobe Bryant, super team. Michael Jordan was on super teams. Like, get over this stupid term that was created to get mad at LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Really, LeBron. And be mad about it. And look, let's push the fans, super team. Bad. Come on. That's ridiculous. But it's very similar. The players started going, you know what? No, I want to play in that situation. I want to play with these people. And when your top players start taking that stance, when your top players sit out a season and forgo $14 million to get a long-term contract, when your top players start demanding trades, that's going to change the game. That's going to affect the next collective bargaining agreement. That's what I'm looking forward to see how they make the game better through that and not all these rules that really are not making the game better. It's a violent game. You either got to take all the pads off and play flag or realize what it is and just try and make it as safe as possible. Why I love sports, number 6. Let's end the show with this. I got why I love sports from a guy I worked with, a guy I know. Mike Freeman, Mike Stadium Sports Cards here in the Denver metro area. Check him out. Also works at Pepsi Center, a lot of concerts, events. Great guy, great family man. Great to talk to sports with. I've known him for more than 20 years. But this is something he does on his social media site a lot. And I was like, you know what? Why I love sports, I really like that. I'm going to use that on my show. And he's into like 3,000 or something. Some crazy high number. I'm on number 6 for the show. But this week we hear the story of the University of Virginia head coach, Tony Bennett, turning down a raise while extending his contract for another year. So just adding one more year under the contract. Virginia's done really well under his tenancy so far. And he said, no, don't give me that money. I'll take the same salary I'm getting, just add another year on. And that money that you were going to put on for a raise, let's give that money to my staff. Let's pay them some more. And let's invest in the rest of the programs at the school. I love that. That's the kind of thing I love about sports. The selflessness of it. The community aspect of it. The family aspect of it. The togetherness of it. That bond that it brings. He's in it for the right reasons. I can tell that. He said, no, I don't need more. You're paying me enough money. Let's give my guys some more money. Let's give the rest of the program. Let's share that wealth that was brought in with my team's success. Not look how good I am. Let's get that money. Let's fill my pockets. Let's look good. So Tony Bennett, you are a reason that I love sports. I would love to have you on the show. I'd love to talk to you about how you went through this decision process. So if anybody out there listening got his ear, you out there on the University of Virginia campus, let him know. I would love to have him on Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. Until next time, that's all I got for you. You know how we do. Just be real.